It's Wednesday, September 26th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. You know, every once in a while I need to vent. I need to talk about pet peeves of my own. Today is one of those days. One of the things that bothers me, and yes, there are so many, those of you that listen to this every day, you know I always have something that kind of pushes my buttons from time to time. But one of them is this power struggle that we seem to have within the body of Christ. Now, it's interesting that when you see people before they're Christians and after they're Christians, sometimes the personality stays the same. For instance, that guy that used to beat you up in school, that guy that bullied you, that guy that always had to be right, always had to be correct, always had to be dominant. When those guys become Christians, many times they don't allow the change to take place inside, and they become bullies even within the church. Now, we've talked about that a little bit. But one of the things that happens in the church is a power struggle. And folks, let me tell you the way that God set up the church. He gave all of us certain spiritual gifts that work together. You have the gift of serving, the gift of mercy, the gift of organization, the gift of teaching, the gift of shepherding, the gift of giving, you know, the gift of encouragement, the gift of exhortation. All of those things work together, and none of us have to have all of the gifts, because when we're present with the other people, all of them are present and there's a balance going on. Now, what happens when I say everybody needs to have my gift? And especially when that gift is a gift of exhortation, the gift of teaching, where everybody says this is the way it is. What happens when everybody does that? You begin to have a power struggle. And a lot of times people in the church feel like that they're nothing unless they have those gifts that seem to be the most dramatic and the most powerful. And instead of spiritually using our gifts for the edification and the well-being of the body, we begin to try to dominate other people by this power struggle that happens instead. Now, folks, the best thing you can do is to be yourself. A lot of people try to be somebody that they're not, especially within the church, the body of Christ. They decide that they're the ones that need to be a leader, even if they don't have leadership qualities. They're the ones that need to teach, even if they're not really a teacher. They're the ones that need to set everybody straight, to be the exhorter, even if that's not their gift. And when that happens, especially when people are using those gifts outside of their own realm, and they're not using a gift, they're just exhorting, they're just doing it in their flesh, it doesn't come across very well. And that's where a lot of drama comes from. That's where people get frustrated and hurt. You see, because when you possess a gift, you also have a feeling of how it operates and how you should use it in the body. So here's my strongest suggestion for you. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Find out what you have. You know, I've said this to you before, but if you Google this, Google spiritual gifts evaluation, you can take a test online to find out what your spiritual gifts are. Begin to discover that, especially spend some time with a mentor, and hopefully all of you have somebody that you can go to that'll tell you the truth, that'll help you discover things about your own life. But discover what your gifts are, what you contribute to the body of life personally, to the body of Christ. And use those things instead of arbitrarily using everybody else's gifts. When you begin to operate in your gifts, there's a peace about it, not just within you, but everybody else. When you try to use somebody else's gifts, you'll feel conflict within yourself, and people around you will feel conflict too. It's really the difference between a group of people who get along well together and a group of people that always have friction. You see, the spiritual gifts are not meant to divide. They're not meant for drama. They're meant for encouragement and completion. And folks, the thing we should always feel in the body of Christ more than anything is completion. You should feel like when you walk in the room with all of those people, that there is your family. Those are the people that make you feel good about who you are and who God made you to be. Those are the people that will tell you the truth. Those are the people that will encourage you in where you're going. If you don't have a group like that, you need to find one. And folks, quit being something you're not. You know, spiritual gifts are not about power. They're not about power struggle. They're not about dominance. It's all about serving one another. God bless you. Have a great day.